This might look like Minnesota's boundary waters or maybe a trout stream in New York's Adirondacks. Actually, it's suburban Chicago. The east branch of the DuPage River is a small stream that begins and ends in suburban Chicago. Urban tributaries like this are common across the United States. 20 years ago, pollution in the DuPage reached intolerable levels. Untreated sewage and other factors killed most animal life. Today, the river is cleaner, but still not where it should be. Runoff pollution fed by hundreds of thousands of people still threatens water quality. Since I live along the banks of the DuPage and since my family drinks water drawn from Lake Michigan, I thought it would be a good idea to see how my home and my lifestyle contribute to pollution in this tributary of the mighty Mississippi. As the DuPage River winds its way past subdivisions, 6-lane highways, and forest preserves, it provides a home to a wide variety of plant and animal life. Don LaBrose is a biologist with the DuPage County Forest Preserve.
What we're doing now, especially on district land and some other private lands, is trying to revert the East Branch back to maybe what it originally looked like. There's no way we're ever going to get to it exactly, but we can still solve flooding, but in a different way. Instead of channelizing everything and shooting the water out of here quickly, we can create these large, massive wetlands like we have here in Hidden Lake. The water quality of the East Branch in the 50s and 60s was pretty much a sewer. It was very poor water quality. There was very little life in the river system. So in 1972, when the Clean Water Act was enacted, it helped to start solving some of these problems. So that today, our water quality in the East Branch is 1,000 times better than it was in the 1950s and 60s.
So how can I make a difference? Let's look at my house, which is only a few blocks from the river. Fresh water enters my property in two ways: through water pipes buried in the ground and through rainfall. Fresh water leaves my property in two basic ways. The first is through the sewers. That's mostly good news
for the DuPage River.
Wastewater that goes down the drain makes its way to a treatment facility before re-entering the DuPage watershed. The big problem for the DuPage and rivers near your area is the storm drain. Wastewater that doesn't go down the sewer drain goes down the storm drain. Unlike the sewer, water that enters the storm drain goes directly into the river, untreated. With that in mind, let's look at some simple ways you can keep rivers and streams in your area clean. One big villain is lawn fertilizer and weed killers. If you're like me, the people's lawn next door looks great, so the pressure to conform is really on. If you simply must fertilize, use an organic fertilizer. And before you apply it, make sure you read the labels carefully. Right before a rainstorm is not the time to fertilize. All you'll wind up doing is washing fertilizer down the storm drain and into the river.
Fertilizers and pesticides are another area that we have a concern with, because most, at least what I've seen, is most folks use too much. You really don't need to use as much as they say on the instructions, and then most people use more than what the instructions say anyways.
Wise use of your lawnmower can also make a big difference. First of all, make sure the wheels keep the grass at least 3 inches long. Longer grass does a better job of holding stormwater and reduces erosion. And if you don't have one, use a mulching mower. A mower with a mulching blade does a better job of chopping up the clippings. And it fertilizes your lawn every time you mow. If you change your own oil, recycle it. Don't let it run down the storm drain. Just about any gas station will take your used oil for free. While we're at the gas station, here's a tip. Don't top off the tank. That gas that spills onto the concrete winds up right in the river. For those who live in cold weather regions, try using sand this winter instead of salt on your sidewalk. While sand doesn't melt snow the way salt does, it will keep you from slipping and breaking your neck. Remember, melted salt water runs directly into your freshwater stream. That old computer equipment you can't seem to give away becomes a problem when you dump it in the trash. Old computer equipment contains lots of heavy metals. Landfills are jammed with old computers that leak lead and mercury into the watershed. The fact is that rivers and streams here in Illinois, and in places where you live, are probably better off today than they were 20 or 30 years ago. But if we want to keep them that way, and even improve them, we're going to have to make some sacrifices. But hey, it's worth it.